Was it a bit sweeter than normal? It seemed to have a tear on court.
Yeah, way that meant the most. Probably.
Sorry, we're just going to move that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Good. That win meant the most to me because I think someone wrote a funny tweet, I read it. If you put yourself out there, it puts more pressure on you, and it definitely does. And I've really been everywhere the last 2 weeks, and to broadcast it live to the world, never been done in a final, that's huge for the movement of parasports and everything that I believe in. So to not choke it up and lose meant a lot. And I think it was really hot. Like, you know, everyone has been to the finals. That was the highest quality tennis probably. I think that was really good tennis, and I'm really glad that it was to be able to broadcast that. It really meant a lot, and I meant what I said, and I got a bit emotional because I meant, you know, I lied in bed thinking this sucks. Like, why don't I see anybody like me? It just used to eat me up. I was like, whatever I'm good at, I want to make it. That's what I used to tell myself, and that is the definition of making it, you know, broadcasting that to the world.
You said choke it up then. Did it ever cross your mind that you might choke it up?
No, 5-2 I was up. He got back to 5-4, played awesome. 5-4 game, I played horrible. But I still felt like I was going to win. I didn't get too tight. Like, I looked like I might have been tight, but I was just overthinking it a bit. I actually wasn't getting that feeling when your heart skips a beat and your chest gets tight. I didn't actually get that feeling. I think I just went out. I think at 5-2 I might have thought I was already in the locker room a bit. I got a bit ahead of myself. And then I was glad in the tie break, my box told me to just take a bit more time, and I think I won at 7-2. But in credit to him, 5-2 down, he went like ace. I hit like a 150 serve at his backhand, and he's like, winner. I was spewing. I was like, come on, mate. I thought I cranked that. So credit to how well he played.
When you've played David as often as you have, so you played him in the Bendigo final, you played him in the round robin here, you also played him in the doubles. Do you, at this point, given you've played so many times, do you learn things from each of those matches going into today, or is it just like, because we've played so many times, it's just each day is I don't know, how do you approach a match against someone that you do play so often?
You know what you've got to do to win when you play someone so often, but as soon as you roll out on Rod Laver, your brain is, you know, a kilometre away. Like, so I know what I've got to do to win, but every time I hit a slice backhand straight to his backhand, I go, what am I doing that for? And the next shot I do the same thing. You're like, oh, what am I doing? You know, that's what happens when you're in a final of a Grand Slam. I blitzed him in Bendigo a couple of weeks ago, then I won like 7-6 in the third here, and I learned a lot from that match, and I had a much better game plan today, and I was really proud of how I played, and the crowd was massive, and the viewership was massive, and it was just, you know, a really awesome day.
Did you know beforehand that the TV audience would be bigger?
Well, I knew it'd be on TV for the first time, live and exclusive on the Wide World of Sports, so that hasn't been done before, and they asked me to stay and do the pre-show last night before Novak and Luka Pui, and I was like, oh, hang on, do you want me to say, is this going to be on TV? Because I didn't want to say it would be if it wasn't going to be. And they said, why do you think you're on? Of course it's going to be live. And I was like, I got emotional on the desk because I didn't know until that point. And they changed their scheduling from months ago, last night, to make sure it was on. And then they went off air and then came back to tonight. So, yeah, a massive, huge deal. And I talked about this yesterday, but there's a tweet that's going around of the little girl watching when it was on Thursday, and the amount of young kids that came down because of that I just met, you know, out there, is just why we do what we do, me and my team, you know. Winning Grand Slams are awesome, but that means more than anything to me.
Dan and Ben.
Dylan, last year you had to drag yourself out of hospital the day of the final. Can you compare that to this year with the extra pressure? Which one was tougher, given your profile now as opposed to...
today was tougher. When I got out of bed today, though, I was almost walking. I was that excited. I was up, mate. I felt fresh as a daisy. And thinking about last year, I spoke to my manager, Mark. I was like, mate, I feel good today. Compared to last year when I literally ripped the drip out of my arm Friday night to be able to play Saturday. So I thought about that today, and I actually had a bit of a pep in my step, part of the pun. Like, I actually felt good because of that. Does that make sense? I felt awesome. And last year was more of a relief because I was so crook to win it. But way more pressure today. Because no one knew about that last year. The only reason you all know is because I wrote about it in my book. I didn't tell anyone. Way more pressure today because of the bigger audience, and I was stoked with how well I played.
you mentioned just coming with a higher profile and being all around and having that. How is that borne out when you're on the court in these matches, though? Because you feel like you're sort of, it puts a bigger target on you or makes you outsized or, people even more excited for the chance to beat you. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it's a much bigger target. The more you pump yourself up and the more that you put yourself out there. And as Ben, you wrote in your article, it said the most famous person at the Australian Open is not who you think. And just reading that title and the way that it was written was like, it's almost valid, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that. And people would read that and go, as if, and then you go out in the public and thousands of people gather around for a photo. It's just, I can't believe it's happened. And as I said in my speech, I'm the lucky one who's got it at the moment. The next generation of young athletes, other sports, they deserve the same thing because they train just as hard as the Roger Federers or the Usain Bolts or the Michael Phelps or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And it means the world to me to be able to cut through, I guess, to break that glass ceiling, but hopefully it flows on for years to come and this becomes the norm. And for some reason, last night, I was sitting on my couch with my housemates and an ANZ ad came on, and then the promo for tomorrow was like, watch Dylan Alcott in the quad wheelchair final. It felt normal. I sat there and I didn't go, I just went, oh my God, it kind of felt normal. And that is, I just can't believe that. You know what I mean? And just the young people that watch that, I hope they feel normal as well for their disability and getting out there. But yeah, it adds the pressure and you put that on yourself and people say, why do you do all this broadcasting? I was tired. I felt bad at the start of the week. You got to do it. You got to hustle to get what you want. And I think my manager Mark always and Georgie always says to me, "You're the hardest working person ever." And I don't think about that very often, but I do work hard, and that's why I've had cut through. And I'm so glad I didn't stuff it up and was able to win as well.
You obviously, as you said, you work so hard and you're a mile a minute, and you don't strike us as the kind of guy that struggles for motivation. And I know your greatest motivation is, promoting the disability community and for the next generation. But what kind of motivates you now on the court? You've got 5 of those.
Yeah, that's a great question. That feeling of when you get out there and everyone goes bananas for you, no one gets that. No one gets a home crowd like that, do they? Maybe Rafa does at Madrid, but the Madrid Open is not a Grand Slam, is it? I have a Grand Slam 5 minutes from my house, and it feels like it's Davis Cup out there. The amount of people that come to me said it was a Davis Cup vibe, especially out on Court 8 when we played, and then today, and it was. It's like, it's who gets that? And especially what athletes with a disability get that? No one. And I don't take that for granted, and it provides me my platform to talk about things that I care about, and I don't take that for granted either. And I want to go to Tokyo 2020 and hopefully win a few more gold medals, and then I'll reassess my life after that. But, for the first time for singles in the quad division at Wimbledon, I know Roland Garros is this close to coming in as well, and Rocket Rod Laver's done a Grand Slam, and I'd love to do one of those as well. That'd be pretty cool. So it's been a crazy week. Like, I literally walked past Rod, and he's like, "G'day, Dill." Like, "G'day, Rod." Like we are mates with Rod Laver. You know what I mean? It's just so normal. I was like, I caught myself the other day in the elevator. I was like, "G'day, Rocket." "G'day, Dill." And then we got out and had some sushi, and I was like, what is going on? Like, it's just so normal. It was just like a couple of mates catching up. And, I just am, privileged to be in the position that I am, and the support that everyone just seems to buy into the things that I talk about, and it means a lot to me. And, the media, that look at this press room, it's full. A couple of years ago, I used to have one, and it was probably someone from the ITF, and it could have been on the side of the court because no one cared at all, And it's pretty amazing to be involved in. And I'm on the front page of the bloody paper today, and, it's just incredible. It really is.
How did you celebrate?
I enjoy a beer. So I'll have a few. I'm not going to lie. I went straight to Grand Slam Oval, and everyone was there, and we actually did a TV cross rather than go on the desk from there. And there was a little kid called Lucas next to me, who was 7 years old. He just started playing tennis last week, and his parents were in tears, and Heath was there, and my family and friends. And I've actually changed. I used to have a big party, but I just want to go off the grid for a few days, to be honest. I'm sick of talking. So I'm going to go away actually tomorrow and hang out and just hang out with my friends and that, because I start a new radio gig in a week actually, a new station on our stereo and hit and things like that. So yeah. But this one, it actually means a lot more. I don't know why. It probably means the most. First one means the most, equal with this one. It really meant a lot. And I didn't mean to get emotional up there. I just looked up and I was like, wow, you know, look at the crowd. And I just, you know, my phone almost exploded when I turned it on. And just, it's pretty cool. Really is. Thanks, guys. I meant what I said about the media buying into the journey, and front page of the paper, New York Times, Age, TV, Nine, TA Media, everyone has got around it, and it's just, I can't believe it, really can't. So I appreciate all your work as well, guys. Thanks so much.